What's your plan?
By June, I want to hit 100K. I think it's possible.
My goal is to actually go into 25 verticals with 25 different growth infrastructures and make $100 million a year. This is the money maker. It's never been easier to make money today.
I dropped $10,000 on the course, actually. That was the moment I realized that was a big mistake.
It's more leverage to have an email list than to have a bunch of setters. I can tell you how to make $1 million in the next 90 days, but if you make more money because you access more leverage. Do you know how hard it is to make $17 million? What the fuck?
If you guys are not an MBL, I don't know what y'all doing.
Today we have, you want to present yourself?
Yeah, what's up, guys? My name is Sue. I'm 18 years old and I'm currently based in London.
Love it. He's in Canary Wharf. I was there in 2022. We did a lot of, we're not going to expose, but we did have a lot of fun in London. Yeah, you want to kind of like introduce what you do?
Yeah. So I basically started in the online space when I was 16, kind of doing appointment setting, closing. And so I got into appointment setting, closing pretty early on, and then I eventually moved into a growth partner. And so I was scaling up coaches, like, anyone that had an offer, and I would basically do everything done for you, and I would just, take a rev share or whatever. And then recently I met Serge, and he helped me transition into more of a build and release with the NBL community, and ever since it's been going pretty well. So I help coaches scale. I give them the systems, infrastructure, and all the strategies that they need, and then I give them mentorship and coaching on how to actually use them to achieve.
Sick. Love it. Let's take it back. So when you were 16, you first got into the game, what were you like? How did you get in? Who got you in? Like, what was the first initial insight into getting in?
Yeah, it was during COVID, and like I was playing games all day, and then eventually I wanted to like make money online. So I got the IG theme pages first. That was like my first ever thing. Didn't work out at all. I made a bit of money, but it wasn't crazy. My first real one was appointment setting. And so I was setting for a dating coach for around like 4 or 5 months. And then eventually, after like, I was tired of setting because it's a boring job. I got into closing. So I was setting and closing my own deals. And I was getting like 20% out of the deals I set and closed. And then after that, I got recruited as a sales manager for, one of the offers that my friend was working on. And that's where I learned kind of how to transfer my skills to somebody else. And then he introduced me to the idea of growth partnering. I did that for around 2, 3 months. I got my case studies that I wanted. So I'm out of there, out of the agency space. And now I'm doing build and release. So
Cool. You want to talk about maybe like what are some of the, because we talked about this when you were in NBL, right? But I would love to, if you can kind of like share, because we're seeing a lot of people pushing these different models, right? It's like, hey, you should be a partner, you should be an operator, you should sell, build and release, you should like, but a lot of people don't share the common like obstacles that each model represents. So you want to kind of like why don't you just stay as a growth partner or a growth operator, as people are calling it, when like our people are saying, oh, you can make 100 grand a month doing it because you only need 2, 3 clients, can take 25%. Like, why does that, is it not as good as it seems,
Yeah. Well, I think the main thing for me was, I think it is possible to actually scale up to that point with 2, 3 clients. Like if you landed some whale clients, you can definitely do that. But I guess the one flaw that I had with growth operating was you were very hands-on in the business. And a lot of your success with growth operating, growth partnering was dependent on the actual client, whether or not he filmed the VSL, whether or not he do this. And so when I got my case studies, which I wanted to do for the build and release, there was so much more leverage because now it's like, okay, you pay an upfront fee. And instead of me relying on you to do certain things so that I make money, I already made my money. I'm chill. If you don't want to make money, if you don't want to do what you're supposed to do, then that's on you, right? And usually if someone pays like 10K up front, they will do what you say because you have that authority and you have that, you have that frame. And so
that investment too, it makes
that,
them want to commit. Nobody's going to throw 10, 15, 25 grand at you and not value it.
yeah. And with the growth partner thing, it was like you work for free. If you're on a retainer, it is much easier. But when I was working out for free, like that was tough because you tell them what to do, but then they're like, there's no weight to what you tell them to do because like, what's the downside for them? Like, there's no downside because they didn't pay anything. So
And so for me, I have a really kind of like, I have a like a barrier into understanding how people are coming in and partnering up with these either influencers or coaches, consultants,
Yeah.
like is the coach or consultant or influencer already making money in that field, or are you getting him to start a new product, maybe price it higher, then validating their traffic sources, then validating the appointment setting, then validating the sales? Like, are you trying to partner with, or do you even get to choose? Do you get to choose who you partner with at which level they're at in their career, or are you just trying to pick the first person who can trust you? Like, how were you doing it?
Yeah. So for me, I knew that I wanted like the craziest case studies. So I've targeted people that actually had an audience and they had no clue what they were doing. A
Mm,
lot of these guys, these influencers, like they don't have brain cells. They don't know how to put together an offer, right? And so when you tell them what to do and you launch something to their 100,000 followers, like it's an insane case study because they go from 0 to 50K in the first 30 days because they didn't sell to their audience yet. So that was my audience.
mm,
That was my target client. And then eventually I shifted over to people that already had an established offer. Found that was much easier because they already have proof of concept. And then I just implement my systems,
mm-hmm.
um, some paid ads and stuff. And so it would just be a much more faster way to achieve results and I guess targeting coaches that already had a validated offer is much easier as well.
Yeah. Because when you work with someone who has no experience, you're actually, it's almost like a, like you make more money because you access more leverage. When you
Yeah,
work with someone with no experience, you're actually accessing, it's the inverse of leverage. It's you're actually losing leverage, right? So it doesn't matter how, like even for me, the reason why I try to put as much value for free on YouTube is because there's no point in me selling someone who has zero experience or zero time in learning. Because I can tell you how to make $1 million in the next 90 days. But if you don't have the skill or the bandwidth or the leverage to implement, then technically I would have scammed you because I sold you something that you couldn't execute on or find value. And so I think it works the same way as a service provider. When a service provider is helping someone with no leverage or no experience,
yeah,
it's like you're multiplying 1 million times, value times zero. It just goes back to zero, right? So that's why I'm a little wary into this idea that becoming a growth partner or growth operator because you also need leverage. Like for
yeah,
me, I'm not going to give 10% of my monthly cash flow to a partner who doesn't have leverage. You need to bring a lot of experience. So really, I think everyone who keeps asking like, "Hey, what is the best path if I'm a beginner?" Just fucking get a job.
yeah.
Just get a job. Like just like all of us, just work, do something.
Uh,
Don't try to find a business, don't try to do this. Like you started with appointment setting, then you did sales, then you did the work, you stacked the skills.
yeah.
So that's an interesting thing, right? But so walk me through. So what was your peak revenue cash month with when you were kind of like with the partner?
Um, my peak was around I did 15 cash
Mm-hmm.
and 22 rev. That was my peak. Yeah.
Cool.
But I
And
only did growth partner for like 2, 3 months. And
mm,
then as I said, once I got the case studies out
I
of
got
there.
out. Cool. Um and then when you kind of like started introducing packages more of like an infrastructure instead of being like, hey, so walk me through how you sell, build, and release. Like you're not currently a client, just so everyone knows, he's not a client. He's just in our kind of like subscription community called Not Your Born Leader. Um, but tell them kind of like what happened when you kind of like applied and just actually share numbers. Like what was the growth as soon as you started positioning the new as an infrastructure instead of like, hey, I'll just build and generate you money for free, technically.
Yeah, so um with growth partner, after I got the results and everything, I wanted to move to a more I wanted to move to a business model where you can get more cash up front instead of doing a percentage stuff. So I completely ditched the idea of partnering up.
Hmm.
And it was actually one of your ads. That was the first ad that actually worked on me. Like
Really?
yeah, you had an ad that showed up and it was like, oh, are you doing growth partnering and are you doing like build like why don't you transition to build and release? And it makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
And that was what got me in the community. Like that was the first ad I've ever seen that got me to whip out my credit card and pay me. So that
That's so
was
funny.
that was insane. I was like, this guy knows something, bro. This guy knows something that I don't. So I joined the community and then I hopped on weekly group calls and I kind of asked you about how to position it. And you gave me like a lot of ideas on how to structure it because I would basically structure my offer in a way where it's like, okay, you don't just get my coaching. I'm not just a regular coach's coach. I'm a growth partner. So my positioning was you can partner up with me as a growth partner. I don't take any rev share. I don't take any retainer, just an upfront fee. I'll give you all my strategies, all my infrastructure, all my systems, and I teach you how to use it. And I host weekly group calls. I have one-on-one calls, and I have different phases inside the program where you get one-on-one calls with me and different other experts, right?
Hmm.
So that made way more sense. And in terms of like the growth, I think 2 days after our first call when you told me to implement, I implemented it and my offer positioning changed a lot. And I was confident to actually charge 8.5.
Hmm.
So I got two sales for 8.5. Um, and then it was cash collected around seven, I think, around
Yeah,
seven. And then yeah, for the first 30 days of actually deciding to do build and release, I generated 25K cash and 44K rev.
sick, sick.
Yeah.
But compare the workload from the partnership where you're
Yeah.
doing everything and hoping to make 20% or whatever percentage you were charging versus the, I don't know, 4 or 5 infrastructure build and release offers you sold to make 44 grand in a month and 25K cash collected. Like, what was the workload difference?
Yeah, it's definitely huge because the build and release you just build it one time and you just like duplicate it. Like
Yeah,
there's not much, but I guess like there is still a lot of one-on-one calls because you need to actually make sure that they
for sure.
implement.
Yeah.
But I think one thing that stood out to me is like I needed to go through that growth partner phase to know what I was doing to do that build and release.
Yeah.
Because if I step from being a sales manager straight to build and release, I wouldn't have made the amount I made. The reason why I can charge as much because I have some fat case studies from the growth partner where I was scaling coaches up from like 0 to 50K rev within like, 30, 60 days.
Yeah.
So I think the case studies I got from that growth partner helped me learn a lot and it gave me a lot of leverage to kind of market my build and release systems where it's like, okay,
Mhm.
you get these systems that I use to scale this guy up to 30K, this guy up to 50K, this guy up to 70K. And it
Yeah.
was like no brainer for them. So yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah. I think the idea that that everyone has to acquire the skills and the actual experience is inevitable to do build and release. Now, there are ways to skip the actual time, right? Because I was thinking about it because we get a lot of people are like, "Hey, can I skip this? Can I skip that?" And I've been saying no, but I'm like, is it true that you have to necessarily do the work? Not really. Like I don't run ads. I don't build systems. I don't sell, but I'm still making more money than anybody who does those things, right? And the idea is if you want to skip the idea of the plan of looking for experience, then you better be great at hiring and you better be ready at paying people a lot of money, right? So, as an example, if you let's say you were good at appointment setting for this dating coach offer, and I could find someone who could sell, and I could find someone who could also run traffic to that offer, I could get the media buyer to build out the infrastructure for ads, could get you to map out the scripts, the workflow, the engagement, the 2 steps, package that, productize that. Then I could get a salesperson to map out the sales flow, the sales systems, and the sales scripts, and then go to dating coaches and be like, hey guys, here's how the 50K a month growth infrastructure for dating coaches,
Yeah.
right? So like there's also a path, but you need to have some level of leverage to be able to also get these people to work for you, right? Or capital. So, but for me, my goal is to actually go into probably 25 verticals with 25 different growth infrastructures and make $100 million a year in the next 36 months. I think we can pull it off. Because if you think about it, like right now, let's say you're making 44K a month and you just started. Like how long have you been doing this?
The build and release.
Yeah, or whatever. I mean, I don't know. Whatever growing companies or whatever.
Growing companies has been 4 months.
Mhm.
3 months growth partner, 1 month build and release.
Yeah, okay, so cool. So you've been doing it for 4 months, right? And you're already making, almost $500,000 a year run rate. Do you
Yeah.
know how hard it is for most business owners to get to a point where they're making $500,000 a year? It is insanely hard, right? But because you found an angle and now there is leverage, there is YouTube, there is media, there's all these platforms that give you traffic for free. Like your offer could become a seven-figure offer in the next 30 days if you wanted to, right? If you had the infrastructure to make seven figures, you would make seven figures, you know? But then it works the same way. It's like you can make seven figures a year,
Yeah.
or there's someone who has an infrastructure doing the same thing as you, but making seven figures a month. So
Mm.
this idea of like, so for me, that's really my plan. It's like, how can I find a bunch of different partners who are killing it in different, SaaS, e-com, coaches, consultants,
Mm.
local businesses, and we just go build and release a shit ton of infrastructures, the whole fucking market. Because if you think about it, that's what Hormozy did, right? In gym launch. He just figured out, packaged the infrastructure that a gym that's making 50K, 100 grand a month could do, and he just would sell it for 16K. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever seen his transformation of how fast he grew, like
Yeah.
every 6 months and then a year.
It was like exponential.
It was insane. Like I think he went from not having little money to little to no money to making 3 million in 6 months, and the following 6 to 12 months he made 17 fucking million dollars.
Mm.
Do you know how hard it is to make $17 million? Like, what the so this idea of like you need to find an infrastructure that a company needs to get to the next level and just sell it like every single day,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, I'm really excited for me personally. Like I'm so excited for this movement. I think while everybody, what do you think about information? Do you consume? Do you pay courses? Do you like what are you doing with information? How are you learning things? Like how do you source your information?
Yeah. So I tend to not buy courses. I try to like if I were to invest money, I want one-on-one calls, Like
Mhm.
the reason why I invested into or I joined NBL is because there were weekly group calls.
Yeah.
And it's like $50 for like a 1 hour call with Serge. Like, well, why would I not do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then also like the community and access to, hiring VAs and everything was kind of a no-brainer.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think in terms of information, it's valuable, but like I'd rather get just exactly what I need. And
Yeah.
when I hop on those calls, I ask those questions, I get what I need, and I go straight to work.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
every week I come back to you and I tell you like, oh, I made this with the advice you gave me last week, and I have a new question, and then I implement that advice. And it's like, uh, the only really thing that I want now is just like personalized advice.
Yeah.
So the information is good. The course information from like MBL is also really useful. I'm on day 4 of fulfillment. And my
Nice.
client, like literally today, I don't know if I can screen share, but like my client literally made 6,000 pounds, bro, like today.
Wow. Like what,
Like
your
the,
client?
yeah, yeah, I can show you real quick. Um, let me, yeah, I can't share screen.
Yeah, you can share now.
Okay. Like literally, this is 8:57, so 2 hours ago, he made a 6,000 pound like piff just like that. And then
Wow.
this, another $6,000 payment in one day. And it's like the fulfillment stuff actually works and it's so suitable for what I do. And especially you know how competitive it is in the coaches consultant space. It
Yeah.
is insanely hard to get results, um to get people in your program because you're competing with just so many people.
Hmm.
But I've gone my marketing angle. I've gone, I hired a lot of talent. That's something I learned from you. I thought I should do it all myself. I
Yeah.
hired a media buyer that managed over $10 million in ad spend. So now he's helping with the paid ads.
Sick.
I don't know shit about paid ads, but I hired this guy um, because of your insight. And then I also have like setters and everything. I have a pool of setters that people can hire from. So yeah, just learning how to kind of structure my offer differently
Yeah.
really helped me charge the amount that I charge right
Yeah. I think the info space is shifting to because now there's just an it's like there's an overabundance of info products
now.
and people don't pay attention the same way they used to pay attention to. Like when Iman released his info, when Sam Ovens released his info,
Yeah.
there were only three people doing it. So like all the traffic went to them, and people had to only choose between one person pushing the agency model, one person pushing the consulting model, one
Yeah.
person coach pushing the sales model, becoming a closer. But now everyone is doing it. So now there's literally no money to be made in that space because no one is going to spend $1,000, $2,000 to go through a portal when they could just click a search on YouTube and find the same information, even better than the
That was a
information in the
big thing
course.
that I realized actually. Um, I dropped $10,000 on a course actually, like on personal branding and everything.
Yeah.
I watched like 3 videos, and there were like 30 videos, and that was the moment I realized like, okay, that was a big mistake. I shouldn't even value video courses that much because like what are the odds you actually sit down for hours and watch video content? Like you want to join group calls, you want to join one-on-one calls to get
Mhm.
insight that's personalized to you. And I think yeah, you're spot on the fact that info is just getting there's just so much people getting into it. It's hard.
Yeah, there's so much. There's it's like if there was like it's like if there was 30, 50 different Google.
Yeah.
You what the fuck? You wouldn't use it. It's like ChatGPT. Like these are markets where it's almost like the best person in that field wins.
Yeah.
It's not, oh, like Iman is gonna make 50% and then you're gonna make 5%. No, it's like 80% of all the revenue almost like goes to one person. That's how it's gonna work, right? So I think for anyone who thinks that, because I think a lot of people kind of like watch content. I think you're also putting out content and they're like, oh, they're selling information. Yeah, you're crazy if you think that you're gonna charge someone 10 grand, 15 grand for info. I think
Mhm.
there's like a few people doing that. I think Charlie Morgan is, I think his program is like 9.8, but I think it's really info based, right? But like he's doing that because he has a brand.
Yeah.
Like anyone else is gonna charge 10 grand for school community, and you scroll through that. What the fuck? That's
Yeah.
actually a time waste of time because you could take 10 grand and go buy someone to set up the cold email, the lead flow, the appointment setter, and get you to social closer. Like for 10 grand, you could buy that infrastructure in 2, 3 weeks. So anybody who's still buying like info to sit down and learn, well, I mean, maybe you got a lot of money to spend, but I mean, at least for me, it's a bet I'm making. I'm seeing the pattern of like info is good, but it's only one winner takes all type of thing, and then everybody else is just going to be competing over little. I mean, everybody's getting out of it anyway.
Mhm.
Yeah, but yeah. So what's your plan? So right now, what is your goal this quarter?
The goal is 100 this quarter.
Well, a monthly goal or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, by the end of this year, definitely want to hit 100K.
By
I
the
made
end of this year?
or by June probably. By June, I want to hit 100K. I think it's possible. And I made a bet with my mom. If I hit like 50 to 100K per month, I'm
Yeah.
quitting. Like I'm not gonna be attending you or anything.
Do you want
So
us do you want us to do the math on how to make 100 grand a month by end of this month?
yeah, we could, bro. End of this month.
End of this fucking month.
Yeah, we could.
I mean, why not? What is the point of jumping on this call if you don't if because I think if, when you're starting out, you're kind of like still respecting laws of physics. You're kind of like still really feeling like you got to take it slow.
Mm.
But let me show you real quick how it works. Because I think this is the most amount of value that I can give you. Like other than asking you questions and everything, I think this is how you make 100 grand a month. Okay. So let's get into it. Um, so I'm going to ask you a few questions, right? And I'll need you to kind of like be able to give me um, these metrics.
Yeah.
100K a month, building and releasing growth infrastructures for coaches and consultants. All right, cool. Perfect. So go over last month's metric. It's
Yeah.
okay if you don't have it. We're gonna kind of like do a ballpark if we can. So
So
first thing I need to know is um, traffic sources.
okay. Instagram. Do you want the follower count or how do we want to do this?
No, just give me the platform. Instagram.
Instagram, YouTube,
Yep.
Twitter.
Okay, cool. And then Do you know how many new followers you got on Instagram in the last 30 days?
I think around 1K.
1K? Okay, cool. And what about YouTube?
YouTube around 300 new subscribers. I just started posting on there recently.
Okay, perfect. And then Twitter, do you do much on Twitter or no? Not really.
More on the back end, so like 10.
Okay, cool. Let's delete. Let's just
Yep.
do cool, cool. And then do you know your lead flow? Like are you getting people to opt in to something or what are you doing?
So basically, my setter's reaching out to everyone that follows me or engages in my content. I have a setting team built out.
Mm-hmm.
And,
But you're not really you don't have a funnel. You're collecting data,
I have an opt-in page, yeah. I have an opt-in page to a VSL, and then after they watch a VSL, there's a booking link below. So
but it's not really a centralized
yeah,
thing. No, or
there's like
not, right?
yeah, not really. I wouldn't say I rely on like one. I rely on like three.
So would you say that this is technically, would you say that Instagram is your main source of appointments?
Yeah, for sure.
Like 80+%, right?
Set 70/30, I'd say.
So where's the other ones coming from? Is it self-booked?
YouTube, yeah. So usually I have my VSL link like below on the in the description, and
Okay.
then they watch it, they book it. If it's unqualified, just cancel, and yeah.
Okay, cool. So then, okay, so 1K new leads. These are followers. Perfect. And then 300 new subs, which could be greater. So, but let's just use um from YouTube. Okay. Now, what I want to know is appointments flow. Actually, before we talk about it, let's just talk about cost. How much did you spend on ads for Instagram or Facebook Meta? No ads?
Zero, zero. I'm running them this month though.
So where's this 1,000 new followers coming from?
It's all organic. So I post reels. I just post organic reels, talking head.
How many reels did you post last month?
Oh, that's tough because I was working a lot on the program. I think like not eight to 10, not a lot.
And then do you know how many average views you get
Yeah,
per reel?
right now.
Think yeah, give me the average. It's cool. Or the median.
Around eight to 9K.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's insane. Okay, shit. Good work. Good work. So you're getting 8,000 views per reel on
Um,
average,
I mean, sometimes it flops and you get like 4K. But
but the median is 8,000 or so, right?
if you count some of my viral ones, yeah, because I got like 1.1 million on
Fuck.
one of those views on one of those.
Wow. Okay. Beautiful. And then do you know how much oh man, I forget what I was about to say. So is this kind of like your main source of new followers, would you say?
Sure, for sure.
Yeah, right? Okay, cool. And then these people are still being sold, you're are being set?
Yeah, yeah. So again, my setter DMs like the people that look qualified and that look like they have an offer and post good content. So a
Yeah.
lot you get Indians and all that stuff, but my setter makes sure to qualify. I have a whole SOP, and they basically reach out to any qualified lead,
Uh-huh.
uh, or follower that engages, and then yeah, we just go the conversation from there. And we have a setting flow where we send like the VSL that
Hmm.
does all the selling in the DMs, and then if you're interested, they just book in a call.
Okay. So let's say you're averaging 64,000 to 80,000 impressions per month, right?
Ooh, it might be my last month impressions were like 140 actually.
Okay, perfect. So let's just do 100. Let's just do 100,000, okay?
Yeah.
So you're getting 100,000 impressions, right? The cost is really energy, to be honest.
Yeah.
And are you paying an editor or are you editing yourself?
Yeah, I have an in-house editing team.
How much?
It's 25 per reel and unlimited. Yeah, 25 per
Well,
reel.
how much? Do you know how, like on average, how much you end up spending on this?
Well, 25 times 10 is just 250. So around 250.
250. So let's say 250. Well, you're let's say 300 bucks, right?
Yeah.
A month. Okay, cool. Interesting. Perfect. Now, let's go over Do you know you're not tracking like okay, how many appointments actually came from specifically YouTube?
I don't
No.
track. But
Okay,
whatever.
cool. Well, we'll centralize it. We'll centralize it. It's okay, whatever. Walk me through the number of calls you booked last month.
I believe it was, I think it was around 20.
Okay, so
Yeah.
20 sales calls.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, one second. So 20 sales calls for month of um March.
Yeah.
Interesting. Cool. And then do you know how many were from the setter versus self book-in?
All of them were from the setter.
Well, that's impossible because you do have a VSL that's like has a
Oh,
calendar,
oh,
right?
oh. Oh, I thought you said self-booking as in like I'm booking them. I think it's like 75% was a setter and then 25 was like,
Okay.
yeah,
So let's say 15 setter,
5.
5 self booking,
Mhm.
self bookings. Okay, cool. Perfect. All right, cool. And then let's talk deal flow.
Mhm.
How much money did you collect? And
25, 25.1,
okay, cool. And then revenue was
44.
44,000. You're charging in US, right? Not
Yeah.
GBP. Okay, cool. So here's how you make $100,000 a month. So first of all, the rule for business is really inputs outputs, right? If you want to make $44,000 a day, you can actually make it. But the thing is, you will never make it until you realize that it is as simple as figuring out what allowed you to do it in a month and recreate those inputs, but in a single day. Okay. So as an example, Amazon does over $1 billion in revenue per day. But really, all it is, it's the same level of activity, but it's just done 1 billion times over. Like they get 1 billion times more traffic, they get 1 billion times more visitors, they get 1 billion times more purchases, they get $1 billion, 1 billion times more, right? So it's really just a game of exponential growth, of course. Like different systems allow different levels of throughput. But if I had to transform this business that you have into 100K a month thing, this is how I would do it. How to transform a 25K cash month and 40, let's just say 45K a month into $100,000 a month based on the inputs of the current business. So here's one thing. Your traffic sources, you're killing it with Reels. How many followers do you have?
24,600.
Okay, cool. So that's good. So here's one thing. You're really great at Reels, okay? You only did eight, let's just say 10, okay, to get 100,000 views and to get 1,000 new followers,
Yeah.
right? So let's say the current numbers, current inputs is on average it's 10 reels give you 100,000 views, and then you get 1,000 new followers. And then from there, you book, let's say, let's say 20 calls. Let's just align this with the 20 calls, right? Or let's just say 15 calls, 15 sales calls. And then from there, how many clients was this?
Oh, I
Like
think it was, um, well, I think around 7 to 8.
7 clients.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I guess right now it's because you're so on average, what is that deal flow cost per purchase? What is average deal size? Okay.
Well, I was bumping it up because this is like my initial testing phase, right?
Yeah,
So initial one was like 7, and then I
yeah.
bumped it up to 5, and then now it's I'm planning on charging 9.5.
Okay, cool. So let's just say that last month your average was like 7K.
Yeah.
7K times 7, whatever. Or I think the average is like actually 6.5 and you sold um what did you say? Seven clients, which led to um let's say $45,000 a month. Let's just say $25,000 cash and 44K
Yeah.
rev. Okay, cool. Um so these are the current inputs, right? In order for us to make $100,000, let's not talk about revenue. Let's actually talk about what it takes to collect $100,000 cash collected. Well, you need to, let's say right now, if you were you need to do this, you would just say, oh, let me just 4x the current inputs. That's not how it works. The way the thing works is that the more you do, the less efficient the system becomes, right? So like you can't just keep on just like making more, doing 2 times more, therefore making 2 times more money. No, it doesn't work like that. The more you do, the more the systems underperforms because you're competing with people and this and that. So what you would need to do, though, in my opinion, you would need to 10x everything, not 4x, 10x. And here is why. If you do 10, if you need to do 10x, 10 reels, so if you're doing 10 reels a month, actually, let's also do YouTube because I think YouTube is actually bringing in more. So, how many videos did you post last month on YouTube in the last 30 days?
4?
Four?
Yeah.
Four
Around
long
4.
form
Yeah.
videos. And tell me how much views you got on total
In
on
total,
YouTube in the last 30 days.
ooh, I need to check. I think ballpark is around like two to three K.
2 to 3 thousand per video
No, like total.
total. Okay, cool. It's okay. We'll just keep it at that, right? But I want to add it here. Um, if you, this is going to be kind of like something that we just add, but I think out of the 7 people that you sold, how many had seen your YouTube video?
All of them.
There you go. So that's why YouTube is more important than you actually think.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let me show you. Um, So check this out. This is what I would do. I would 10x the reels. I would do 100 reels this month per month. Okay. I would go from 4 videos to 8 videos per month. Okay. You'll probably end up, to be honest, maybe getting like 250,000 impressions or views. You're not actually going to get, I mean, maybe you can may kill it and just actually do 500K impressions, right? But what's going to happen is that the number of followers is actually going to increase because what I will suggest you do is you're going to take the best performing reels, okay? And then you're going to spend, preferably spend $100 a day on ads, right? $100 a day on ads. I just start at 100, okay? And push the reels that call out your ideal avatar and just like almost like push hard on what's working already, okay? And just do
Mhm.
$100 a day. This will probably end up taking your lead flow or new followers from 1,000 to I don't know, 2,000 plus. Maybe it's a little different, but you're good at Reels, so you're gonna get followers, but you may get like 2,000 to let's say 3,000 new followers. Okay.
So you wouldn't recommend creating like a specific paid ad creative. Would you recommend that? Because that's
I would actually take post I would post my because you're good at Reels. What you don't understand is that you're growing at these impressions is from zero ads.
yeah.
Imagine if you took the same skill set where the platform is actually rewarding you already because of your skill set and just simply take that same skill set and use it to use like start with this framework that you already know of going viral and then attach it to an ad framework.
Mm.
right? Like don't think, oh, let me create an ad, then let me make it viral. No, instead, think viral, then make an ad.
I
Because
see.
if a thing can go viral alone, if you run money to it, it's gonna just fucking go crazy,
Yeah.
right? That, but you will need to run ads, okay? That will for sure increase your lead flow. And then what I would suggest is I will need you to create an opt-in or collect collect data with a value funnel or well, you can do direct response if you or direct response, but and collect the leads on the lead form on Facebook. Okay.
Yeah.
Every single person needs to be the data needs to come back to you. Okay. And then what you will do is every single person here, if you're spending $100 a day on ads, let's say $3,000 a month, that will end up being maybe $10. So you might get maybe 300, let's say 250 leads from it, right? 250 leads on average if the cost per lead is $10, right? And what I want you to do is I also want you to start pushing your organic traffic back to here, back to the VSL, back to the training. The reason why that's important is because you eventually want to start building out your email list, right? It's more leverage to have an email list than to have a bunch of setter talking to one person one-on-one, fighting battles one-on-one. So that's you're lacking a lot of leverage, right? So drive traffic from your audience on IG and YouTube, okay? And preferably take this 250 leads that came from ads, turn it into 1,000 leads per month machine, right? Because
Mm.
if you feed this here into the actual value funnel, you're going to collect infinitely more leads, okay? And then you want to build a setting team. You're not going to make 100 grand with one setter. Well, you could, but it's just going to be hard, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to have one setter on your IG plus one setter reaching out on WhatsApp or iMessage. Okay. This
Mm.
one handles followers. This one handles what? Leads coming into the who are opting into the VSL or the lead form.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what you want to do is what you will realize is that if you have two setters going at it, this level of lead flow here and here, that means that you were averaging, so let's say 2,000, let's say 3,000. Let's say you take it to 3,000 leads per day, let's say 3,000 leads per day divided by 30 days is what? Like 300 leads per day? No. I want to go back to the daily lead flow. Let's just average it out to 30 days, 25 day. So let me show you. So if you're getting 2,000 leads per month, that's 66 leads per day. Okay. Let's say half of them go on IG. Let's say half of them go on IG, half of them go on the setter who's DMing here. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that means that your guy on Instagram will be doing, let's say, 35 new outreach per day and maybe setting 3 meetings per day, right? The one on WhatsApp is going to be doing 30 new outreach per day, maybe setting 1 to 2 meetings per day,
Yeah.
right? So the goal here is not, it's almost like you need to this centralize lead flow, but decentralize appointment setting, right?
Mm.
And you also need to qualify harder, meaning you need to send them to something that they would be interested in. There's no point in you trying to set every single person who does outreach on your profile because right now you're just a content creator. They're not necessarily like like not everyone who follows you because they're like, I have a pain, I have a coaching business, I want to get clients. They might
Yeah.
just like the way you edit. They might just like the way you look. So Instagram is a little, it's almost like virality doesn't mean shit. It's
Yeah.
almost like, yeah, just because you get 100,000 impressions don't mean shit, you know? Um, so that's why it's like that's why I recommend you have a clear direct response funnel or a clear messaging. Like, hey, here is the infrastructure we use to scale coaches to let's say 50K per month, right? And then the reel starts and you talk call up that person. Lead cost might go down, might no lead flow might go down, costs might go up, but at least you're talking to the right people. Okay. But if you can do this, you're also most likely going to need to centralize here. You're going to need to have a system to track people from the funnel, send them to your Discord, have the sales team reaching out to these people. You're going to need a workflow around outreach on WhatsApp, on iMessage. I wouldn't recommend you to start dialing because that takes a completely new, different system, which might be a little harder for you to set up. I know you're still in school, so I don't want to get you kind of like focused on a bunch of stuff. But really, for you, of course, by the way, this is 35 new outreach, but really they're also still following up with 100 old leads per day. Okay. So this
Mhm.
is not 35 new outreach. You completely book 3 calls a day. No, it's like you're doing this, but you're also reaching out to old leads. So technically they're doing over 135 new conversations per day. Okay. That is how you book 5 calls a day. It takes a lot more work to book 5 calls a day than most people realize, right? So really the main things you need to go harder on is really this. 100 reels, 8 videos per month on YouTube, okay? Paid ads, okay?
Yeah.
And centralized appointment setting. You do this one, two, three, there's no way you don't make 100 grand. There's no
Yeah.
way. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. It's super. It's literally this easy. It's do the content, do the ads, do the setting, okay? And the last piece, stop closing yourself. This is
Mm.
what keeps most people below 100 grand a month forever, right? I would actually delegate your sales um, by middle of this month. Like start looking for someone to sell for you because it doesn't matter if you have a great offer. It doesn't matter if you have great lead flow. It doesn't matter if you have great appointment setters. If someone is not ready to kill in order to sell that fucking infrastructure, you're not going to make any money. And if you, as a founder, you're busy, you have school, you're in university, like you're not going to make 100 grand a month. You're not. You still only have 24 hours in a day, right? So the mindset is increase throughput in your business, allow it to handle a lot more work, and you inevitably make more. That's what all business is.
Yeah.
Can you handle 100 grand a month worth of throughput? Right now, you cannot. Even though you say, "Hey, I want to make 100 grand a month. I want to make," no, you don't. You don't. You have one setter. You're doing 8 reels a day, a month. You're doing 4 videos a month. You have one setter. It's like, who? What the fuck? Where's the 100 grand going to come from? You know?
Yeah. Well,
So
usually I did post like 30 reels, and that was like the moment when I got like 250, 300K impressions.
nice.
But building out this offer took a lot of time. So, I mean, I had to sacrifice something because I don't have all the time in the world. I sacrificed the reels.
Yeah.
Um, but in terms of actually making 100 reels, the thing is, I stripped out the entire thing, and that's what makes it really fucking good. And the chance of it going viral is very high because I
Nice.
understand how to hook the person in. I don't think it's possible to do 100 reels to script it out unless I outsource it to a
Okay.
script.
Just do 50, do 30. Like 100 is what, 3 a day or so, something like that, 4 a day. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of reels.
That's crazy,
But
bro.
like I told you, most of your clients came from YouTube, like I knew, yeah, like I knew, right? So just focus on maybe 5x the reels,
Yeah.
but actually do double the volume on YouTube, right? So really to make 100 grand a month, 8 videos on YouTube per month. I would actually even scrape the reels part. I think most people say reels are important. It's vanity metrics, man. Like it's just useless. because it serves a bunch of like because it goes too broad, and it ends up just keep bringing you a bunch of weird people who don't fit. This is why I personally I'd love to do reels, but I'm like I've never gotten someone to buy for me because they saw a reel of me driving a car or talking business. You know, like if it goes viral because of people confused and hating on your shit. Like that's the only two things I've seen. It's like it's when a lot of engagement happen on the reel, that's when it goes viral, right? So more content, and then maybe, okay, whatever, 4x the reels if you want, but make it more specific to the business. Um, spend on ads, okay?
Yeah.
To be honest, if you made 25K last month, 44K, I would happily get you to spend 5K a month. Like 5K a month is nothing. We have a partner right now, like Wyatt, who's 16. He's spending $1,000 a day on ads, right?
1,000. Ooh.
Fuck yeah,
Oh my. Well, what does
fuck
he
yeah.
make?
I think he made. I mean, he made like 50K in a week, but he finished a little over 80K a month last month.
Shit.
Yeah, but he didn't spend a 1K a month for a straight 30 days. He
That's
actually last month he only spent 13 grand a month and he made 80K,
it.
right? So that's why I'm like, get the attention, but the right attention, okay? And then the next thing you need to do is centralize lead flow on funnel, right?
Mm.
And appointment set through DMs and phone numbers,
Mm.
WhatsApp or iMessage, okay? And then delegate sales. The 16-year-old did not make 80K a month closing himself. Fuck that.
The only
He
question
got
I have
closers.
with delegate sales, like, I mean, my vision is like once I do like 50 and once I can't take the calls, then I train someone up to take the calls alongside
No,
me. You wouldn't recommend that, right?
there's someone better at you than at selling, bro.
Yeah.
And he's probably gonna close because he gets paid. If he doesn't close, he doesn't eat. You're making money. You're gonna make money. You're gonna make good money, average money to be comfortable. You're gonna make your 25K a month and you're gonna
Yeah.
be comfortable, right? You're good. You don't need to sell, right? But for him, they have a mission. So map out value proposition, explain phases, and um, share closed deals recordings. Like build an actual sales playbook.
Yeah.
If you do all of this in the next 30 days, I don't see why you wouldn't make 100 grand a month, right?
Mm.
This here, this here, centralized lead, decentralized appointment setting, right? Right? This is the money maker. It's really simple. It's so easy. It's never been easier to make money today. Of course, in order for all of this to work, you need an offer that is around 8,000 to 15,000 plus
Yeah.
to make 100 grand a month. If you get prospects and you sell them each like 1K or 2K a month, you're never gonna make 100 grand a month.
Yeah.
You're gonna get my age and you'll still have never actually been past the 25K a month, you know? So this here starts with in a sophisticated offer, something that people are willing to sell their cars for. So if all this is beautiful, but if you don't actually dial in your build and release offer and make sense of people seeing like, holy shit, this is crazy, and here is it's worth 8 grand, 10 grand, 15 grand, then none of this is gonna matter,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, anyway, this is it. Like, don't try to, for me, it's like my goal is to help you see how simplistic it is, not tell you, oh, here's the lead flow, here's the zap, here's the this. Those are details, bullshit, right? But this is how we personally scale every partner. Content, ads, centralized lead funnel,
Yeah.
decentralized appointment setting, delegate sales. We do this like clockwork, 100 grand a month, and you print. All right,
Mm.
cool. That's it.
Yeah, that was a lot, bro. But yeah, you simplified it a lot too, where it's like it's actually manageable.
Yeah.
So as we
Cool.
speak, I already built out. I mean, a lot of the stuff is already built out. I think the main thing is just a closer
Mhm.
and figuring out how I'm gonna up the content while making sure the fulfillment is dialed in. And because I don't think you can ever outsource script writing. That's the one thing.
It's
Like,
not
because
easy.
that's not through you, you know. So
Yeah.
figuring out how to create content at scale is going to be a game changer.
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to delegate it, to be honest. Um, yeah. But cool, man. Awesome. Any questions you have for me before we end today's call?
Um, well, I guess like in order of importance, because I have to go one by one.
Yeah.
Patience is probably the most important, right?
Yeah. So here's how you go through decision making. This is good. This is gonna be good for you. Okay, cool. So, um, it's better. No, it's yeah, it's easy to do, highest impact, hard to do, highest impact, easy to do, low impact, hard to do, low impact. This year, completely scratch it. This is in the order of application. So let's go through this. What is the easiest thing to do right now? Spend money on ads. So this becomes order of magnitude one. The next thing that is easiest to do, but that can have the highest impact is once you have this going, you're going to have a lot more lead flow. So then this becomes thing number two. Okay. Uh, well, yeah, and this is a little harder to do, right? And then the next thing that is a bit more actually, you could probably do this at the same time,
Yeah.
and then this last, this secondly, and then this is going to be last. So here is going to be ads plus content, centralize lead flow plus appointments, and then delegate sales because they both are hard to do but have the greatest impact. So this is what I want you to start focusing on. So when you wake up tomorrow or when you finish school, you need to source the insights, the systems, and the talent you need to pull this off together. You put these together, you're making 100 grand. You're gonna build $1 million a year business in 60 days. And in 60 days, if you're still in NBL and you haven't made 100 grand, I'm personally gonna kick you out and delete this interview. I'm literally gonna if you guys, if we don't do an interview with Soe in 60 days and is not at 100 grand a month, I'm taking down this interview. You guys cannot trust him. But no, man, like literally, I'm being honest. Like this is all you need to do. Okay,
Yeah.
cool, beautiful.
That's it, man. Oh, I appreciate it. It's crazy how like um $50 a week got me like weekly group calls, and then now this amount of value is like insane,
Yeah,
bro. You know, the first time I joined the group call, I was like, there's only 10 people in here. And I think I was
yeah,
just like holding up all like the group call time because like there's only 10 people. Like I might as well ask all my questions. But yeah, I think it's been a game-changing thing, and this call provided me a lot of clarity. So thank you, bro.
yeah. No, love it. Yeah, I mean, I created NBL because one, I didn't just want to keep a lot of bunch of value on YouTube.
Yeah.
I think there's two different types of people. There's the people on YouTube who are just overdose on value and you just keep on liking and commenting and just keep on just consuming. They're addicted to knowledge. And then I needed a way to segment the people, my audience, from just consumers to actual producers, right? There's those who consume and there's those who actually leverage what they consumed to create something.
Yeah.
And then um, in NBL, if you go and apply and you make money, you're gonna once you make money is when real problems actually happen. Like right now, you're starting to make money, but you haven't really hit that point where you're like, fuck, I know I can do more, but I'm stuck because I either lack the talent, I lack the systems, or I'm trying to go faster because I think we have something of an edge. And that's where people come and partner with us or join incubators and things like that. So yeah, love it. Awesome, man. But thank you so much for joining, and thank you for chasing and applying what we do. Means a lot.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me on this call. And yeah, if you guys are not an MBL, I don't know what y'all doing.
Let's go. Love it. Awesome, bro. Thank you. Take care. Have a beautiful evening. Bye bye.